The throne hall of Varelia Prime was built to intimidate. Its ceiling stretched so high that clouds of bioluminescent spores drifted near the top, glowing like artificial stars. The floor was carved from a single slab of obsidian crystal, etched with the victories of the Zalthari Dominion, a species that had ruled its region of the galaxy for over 6,000 years. At the center of it all sat Queen Azira Vale, her chitinous crown rising like living metal from her brow. Her 4 eyes, 2 forward-facing, 2 set slightly higher, studied the lone figure standing before her. A human, unarmored, unaugmented, no escort. Just Ethan Cole, a Terran exploration engineer who had made the mistake, or miracle, of being the first human to respond to a Zalthari distress beacon. The court buzzed with amusement. Tall, insectoid nobles clicked their mandibles. Warriors leaned on their ceremonial spears. To them, humanity was young, fragile, and laughably outmatched. Queen Azira tilted her head, studying Ethan as one might study an interesting insect. "So," she said, her voice resonating through the hall, amplified by organic resonance chambers, "you are the human who insists our empire should reconsider its expansion into Terran space." Ethan swallowed, but he stood straight. "I'm here to propose cooperation instead of conquest." The laughter came instantly. Azira's mandibles curved upward, a Zalthari smile. "Cooperation," she repeated. "Little human, my fleets outnumber your worlds." "I know," Ethan said calmly, "but numbers aren't everything." That made her laugh harder. "You amuse me," the queen said, rising from her throne. She descended the steps slowly, deliberately, circling him like a predator. "Humans are known for bravado. Let us see how far yours goes." She stopped in front of him, towering nearly twice his height. "I propose a challenge," she said, eyes gleaming. "A traditional trial of worth." The court fell silent. "If you win," Azira continued mockingly, "I will call off the campaign against your species." Ethan's heart pounded. "And if I lose?" "You will be executed," she said casually. Then she leaned closer, voice dripping with amusement. "And," she added, "to make it entertaining, if you win, I will be your wife. Forever." The hall erupted in laughter. Ethan didn't laugh. He nodded. "I accept." The queen's smile faltered, just for a moment. Middle. The trial's humanity was never meant to survive. The trial of worth was not combat alone. The Zalthari believed true dominance came from mind, endurance, and spirit. The trials were designed to break challengers long before they reached the final test. The first trial was endurance. Ethan was placed in a gravity chamber set to 3 times Earth's standard, heat rising to unbearable levels. Zalthari physiology thrived under such conditions. Humans did not. Minutes turned to hours. Ethan's muscles screamed. His vision blurred. Sweat soaked his clothes. He collapsed to one knee, then forced himself back up. The watching nobles murmured. Queen Azira observed in silence, her amusement slowly shifting into curiosity. When the chamber finally opened, Ethan collapsed onto the floor, but he was alive. The second trial was mined. An ancient puzzle chamber filled with shifting geometry and psychic interference. Zalthari challengers often failed here, driven mad by recursive logic traps. Ethan sat cross-legged in the center, ignoring the illusions, mapping patterns, using logic instead of instinct. It took him 6 hours. When the chamber reset, the glyphs glowed green. Success. The third trial was isolation. Ethan was placed in a sensory-deprived void. No light, no sound, no time markers. Zalthari hated this trial. Their species evolved communally. Isolation drove them insane. Humans endured. Ethan remembered empty nights on distant outposts, long voyages, lost friends. He counted heartbeats, sang quietly, held on to memories. When the door opened, he was shaking, but sane. The court was no longer laughing. Queen Azira's eyes followed him everywhere now. "This is impossible," one noble hissed. "No," Azira replied quietly. "This is human." The final trial. Victory through refusal. The final trial was held in the arena of sovereigns, a living battlefield that shifted terrain, gravity, and hazards in real time. At its center stood the queen herself, armored, armed, and smiling once more. "This is the end," she said, activating her bioblades. "Defeat me, human." Ethan stepped into the arena unarmed. The crowd roared. "You mock me now?" Azira snarled. "No," Ethan said. "I refuse to fight you." The arena fell silent. "This trial is about worth," he continued, "not dominance. If I kill you, your empire fractures. Billions die. If you kill me, you prove nothing except that you feared another path." Azira struck fast, lethal. Ethan dodged, barely. He didn't attack. He ran, maneuvered, used the terrain. Every move was defensive. Every risk calculated to avoid harming her. Minutes stretched on. "You could have struck me," she roared, frustration bleeding into her voice. "Yes," Ethan said between breaths. "But winning doesn't always mean conquering." Finally, she stopped. The arena stilled. Azira looked at him, not as prey, not as amusement, but as an equal. "You deny victory," she said slowly, "yet you stand." She deactivated her blades. "The trial of worth is complete," she announced to the stunned court. "The human has won." Silence. Then chaos. Ending. A queen who kept her word. The galaxy reeled. The Zalthari campaign halted overnight. Fleets stood down. Treaties were drafted. Humanity went from potential conquest to strategic equal in a single day. And Queen Azira? She summoned Ethan privately. "You knew I could not kill you after that," she said quietly. "I hoped," Ethan replied. She studied him for a long moment. "Among my people, words spoken before the court are binding." He stiffened. "About the marriage." "I mocked you," she said. "And in doing so, I bound myself." She turned away, gazing out over her world. "But understand this, human," she added. "I do not regret it." Their union was not immediate, nor simple. It was political, cultural, controversial. But it worked. Humans brought adaptability. Zalthari brought stability. Together, they reshaped a region of space once ruled by fear. Years later, historians would say the turning point wasn't the trials. It was the moment a human refused to strike a queen who mocked him. Because humanity didn't win by force. They won by proving that power without restraint was weakness. And Queen Azira, who once laughed at a human, never laughed at humanity again. Instead, she stood beside it,